Hello and welcome back to Pillars of Eternity in the White March. So, we have some level ups to do and we have something here. We have some notes. Okay, what's this? People have arrived at our stronghold. Well, we're never going to go and have a look at them, but that's fine. We can't really do anything there. Hopefully that's not an important quest. I'd assume it's not because you have to actually go back there to finish it. We're just going to choose one of these next ones to be built. How long is that person there? They are there for 8 days and 8 hours. So they are giving you a fair amount of time, but I don't really want to. Right, let us level up Durant's and Grieving Mother. Right. Durant's survival, I think, is what we're going for. Yeah, we're trying to get to survival. Well, at least survival 8, if not survival 10. So we'll keep going on that. That's fine. Next one, class unlock. So interdiction. Once per encounter, he can daze some enemies in an area of effect. Alright. Inspired Flame is... he gains a bonus with Sword and Arquebus. Cast special version of Burst of the Summer Flame. No. Extra spells are nice, maybe. We don't really want to dual spec them, so let's have a look what else we got. We are using him as a ranged attacker a lot more. We could take something like Marksman. He does do that a lot, but I don't think it's going to be necessary for him. Maybe it might be a good idea to take something like Field Triage, where he can just give health to an ally. Really go into that, him being a healer for us. It pretty much makes him like a person who has to be in our party at all times, so that might work. Move speed might be good as well. Deep Pockets has an argument for it, in that if we were to use more scrolls on tougher fights, we may want more of them. But on a tougher fight, you'll be casting more spells, like a lot of spells, and he has a lot to choose from already, so having extra doesn't really give him too much. Damage reduction doesn't really give him too much. I think that we just take Field Triage. 20% once per rest to an ally. It just allows them to stay in the fight a little bit longer. I don't know. No, I can't really bring myself to take any health ones, because we've not yet been in a situation where we can't just walk back and get more camping supplies. So it feels, I don't know, it feels worthless. It feels like it should be like a right choice, but it's just worthless. Any of these useful? Deflection might just be useful. It just gives him 5 deflection. Although if he's attacking from range, it will not be deflection it's working off. It'll instead be what's the other one? Reflex, I think. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of choices here, and they're all awful. Okay. Nothing really works for him. I guess maybe we might want to look at dual specking. I mean, we could take something that allows him to just do extra damage. You know what? Interrupting blows is really good. It's something that we should have on somebody. He doesn't do a lot of damage with each attack, so having the ability to interrupt gives him a purpose. And it also gives him, it gives him a bonus on his ranged and melee. Yeah, okay. Interrupting blows. We'll take it. Right. And we need to remember to shoot him at spellcasters, but we tend to shoot spellcasters if they're in range anyway. Next one is Grieving Mother. Grieving Mother has 10 survival, so that means that she gets the double accuracy bonus. She gets accuracy bonus twice on that one, so that's cool. So I think we go lore? Yeah, just full lore, because she'll be a spellcaster. It makes sense. Then we get a level 5 power. Okay. We already have a couple, so these are just the remaining ones. Ransack an enemy's intellect and perception for energy, causing damage to enemies whose attributes... causing damage to those enemy attributes. Oh, okay. So it makes the enemy weaker and us stronger. Tactical meld. Okay. It means that we gain accuracy if we're attacking the same enemy as the target of the spell. That's kind of rubbish. No, I think we maybe need a cheaper spell that does damage. Okay. Makes the outer shell of an ally's soul into energy, releasing electrical burst around them. So enemies around the target will take shock damage. That could be really good, the way we're playing. This one, dazes and blinds, not interested. This one does corrode damage in a beam between the cipher and the enemy target. Alright. Alright. What else have we got? We got Agony Recall. Damage reapply. Okay. They take the damage that they just took as damage. Okay. This one drains Resolve. Amplified Thrust. Okay, so it harmlessly off the target and into the closest nearby enemy, causing pierce damage and pushing them backwards. Yeah, for cheap I think we just need to take Soul Shock. I think it's going to be best. It's going to give us an extra thing to do. Basically, it means that for pretty much no focus at all, we can just do damage, which is something that she needs. Brutal Backlash. Okay, so it makes her Backlash better. So currently Backlash will stun, but now it would do 20 raw damage. It's not that good. Greater Focus, extra 10 focus. Again, not that good. Now, she does use implements. What's dangerous implements? Extra damage, raw damage to self when attacking. Not interested. I mean, does she already have interrupting strikes? I think she might. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I'm trying to think. What else does she need? What's our problem with her? I mean, Fast Runner for her might be good. It gives her defense when disengaging, and it means that she'll just move quicker. And that means that if we need to reposition her or anything like that, we can do that more easily. Seems to make sense to me. There we go. We're basically just rounding out her rough edges. And I think we should head off to the inn now.
Hey.
We have a lot of other quests to do, but let's head off to the inn. Okay, so now we're a little bit more like we could actually go and explore the place. Who
Been
are
looking
you?
everywhere for you.
Hello? The man is sweating despite the cold. He opens his mouth to speak, but all that comes out is a loud, hacking cough. He bends forward, bracing his hands on his thighs while he heaves and gasps. After a long duration, he raises a finger, still panting. All Haferic's fault. Damn fool sent me. To the other side of town. Looking. For you. At last he stands again. He wipes his dripping brow with the back of his hand and offers you that hand in greeting. No, we're not going to pick her nose, but interesting option. We'll just shake it. Pleasure to meet you. I'm the captain of the militia around here. Oh. Well, nice to meet you. I wanted to catch you before you went off running into the wilds. See, there's a few dangerous folk you might be on the lookout for. Plus, if you're headed out to Longwatch Falls, I thought you might pick up a thermal pearl for me. He looks away and twists his toe of his boot into the snow. Thermal pearl? That's the thing. I already found it. I just need someone else to go out and get it. I saw it in the hot springs up near Longwatch Falls. Would have grabbed it myself, but that's when I looked around and saw the Lagothweth. Must have been 50 of them. He spread his arms wide. I would have thought, but I started to wonder what the rest of Stalwart would do without me, so I ran, for the sake of the village, of course. So what is a thermal pearl? They form in the hot springs. Something to do with all the minerals in the water? Smell kind of funny, but they're full of minerals. Just have to crumble them into a pint. Uh-huh. He grins and he notices that his gums are bleeding. Oh, is this a drug? Okay. What are you talking about? Just trying to keep my teeth as long as I can. This game and fish diet ain't easy on anyone. Oh, okay. Maybe... I don't know what he's wanting to do. But yes, like I said, the pearls in one of the thermal pools near Longwatch Falls shouldn't be hard to spot. Tell me more about Longwatch Falls. It's east of Stalwart. Got some nice views of the valley, but most folk avoid it these days. Plenty of wildo nearby. Only takes a few inches of snow to block the pass. If you're headed out that way, I suggest talking to Therisk. He may have something to help you deal with the Lagothweth. That's all I need to know, thank you. Stop by Thrizik's place before you leave town. He's in the house next to the mines. He's a veteran hunter who knows the wilds better than anyone. Okay. You said something about dangerous folk in the wilderness. We got a share of crazies out here. Most of them aren't even from the village. He laughs at his own joke. Latest groups I'd heard were from the Gleaming Society and the Sisterhood of the Slaked Skull. But Reneguild set aside some bounty money to see that these troublemakers were taken care of. You bring me the heads of their leaders, and I'll give you the payment. Who leads the Sisterhood of the Slate Skull? That'll be Metzla. Metzla? All the members of the Sisterhood worship Barath. By sending as many folk back to the wheel as they can, he shivers. They've been poking around Durgan's battery and Will only knows why, but you can understand why nobody around here was pleased to hear about it. Passed through town recently, didn't say much, but they stopped at the Temple of Ondra. You might see if Laughter knows anything. If you come across them, be careful, they're unpredictable. So what's the Gleaming Society? Crazy pack of radicals that want to topple governments, kill the wealthy, make the War of Defiance look like a food fight. Duke Avar and Regent of Redaceris both declared them illegal, which is probably the only thing those two would agree on. Anyway, check Longwatch Falls to the east. That's where they were last seen. Okay. Farewell. Alright, so Captain of the Guard wants us to go get rid of bounties. Interesting. Hello, Rayfald.
Figured you'd be out of here in a flash after the fighting died down. Most people don't stick around after they figure out the ogres are making regular visits. I would have helped fight them monsters off, you know, if I didn't think I'd just get in the way. And with you there to handle things, everything turned out well enough, didn't it? Don't see why Havrick's still sour at me.
What's this about Havrick?
Oh, Havrick's the innkeeper over at the Grave's Rest. I may have been hiding in the inn when the fighting started. The raid didn't improve his disposition any. Did you know he has a whole case of Fenlin liquor in there? I keep offering to buy it off him, but he says he's saving it up for when the battery's open again. As if we're gonna last that long. Anyhow, he said he'd thrash me up and down the mountain if I didn't leave him be.
So, what's so special about this alcohol?
They say a single drop changes your life. You'll never want to have a drink of anything else. Probably that's all rubbish, but it's supposed to be very good.
I see.
It's delusional is what it is. Point of fact, what with you dealing with ogres and everything, maybe you'd, be willing to help me out.
Oh, bravo. Subtle indeed.
Averick keeps all the good stock in the inn cellar. Out of sight, you see. I mean, it's bound to be under lock and key, but I'm sure he wouldn't miss a single bottle. Not with everything that's going on.
And what do I get out of this?
I'll pay you for it. I swear it. We'll split my wages. And the bottle, too, if you like. I just want to be able to say these lips have tasted the best the Ishamael Blades have to offer.
Anyone ever tell you you're a little strange?
Nothing so kind. You try living here a few years and see how you turn out.
Will he not talk to us anymore?
Please, tell me you found it. I've got...
Oh, okay, he wants me to go get his liquor. Oh well, we're going to the inn anyway. Let's head in. Right. Now, we already spoke to the innkeep, I think. So, let's see what else we've got in here. Got the rooms out the back, and we had to speak to an Orlan. Where was it? There's an Orlan who's overstaying his welcome. Okay. Is he in here? No, but there are things we can steal in here.
Nothing will slip past me.
Just sneak in here and grab. Ray of Fire, neat. And in this one, money. Okay. Right. And along here into the next one. Ah, it's the Orlan. Hello, Oiwina?
Excuse me, was there something you need?
She knits her fingers together and looks intently at the floor. Farewell? Wait, that's it? This must not be the Orlan we were told to get rid of. Maybe it's a dwarf. That would be funny. Anyway.
Hey.
In here we go. Ah, this must be the Orlan. Hello. Aleph.
Not to be rude, but I'm rather busy. Can't you get another room?
The Orlan turns and glances past you with a quick, nervous motion. His ears, shredded and scalloped at the edges, are pressed against his skull. This one hides something. His mind is a maze of fear. Yeah. Havrick sent me to check on you. He thinks you're up to something. I think we're going to go with that instead of doing the dislike Orlan's bit. We'll just say he thinks you're up to something.
He... What? Oh, no. No.
He runs his claws through his hair and tugs at his long, ragged ears. Can't imagine why I'd think a thing like that.
Is she there? Did you see her?
He leans around you, peering at the doorway. Who are you talking about?
Devala. That woman. The slaver, she...
He swallows.
I was a slave in Raid Ceres. I ran away. Made it here. The mountains are usually the best place to lose slavers, but Devala's one of the best.
I'm so sorry. Can I help?
I just want to get out of here. I've scraped together enough money to reach New Haomar.
New Haomar? That's hardly an He stops himself, eyes wide. I mean, it's lovely. You'll love it.
But the locals talk about a Raid Saren party, camped west of town.
He worries at a ragged shirt sleeve.
It's got to be Devala. She's been after me since the foothills. I'll pay you if you can get rid of her. I don't care how.
I'll do it.
Thank you. But be careful. She wouldn't have come alone.
Okay. Ooh, that's free for us to have. Cool. Right. Let's go and have a look around the rest of the inn. So, we know that we have to go west, we have to go east, we have to talk to other people in here. Let's talk to the innkeep about his liquor.
Back to warm your hands, eh? What can I do for you?
Yeah, I thought you might want to know that Rayfauld asked me to steal your liquor.
He did he? That shifty little crook never learns. I'll have it put away somewhere safe. Thank you for doing the decent thing. Here, for your honesty.
That was much easier. Hey, quest. That was a successful quest. We did it perfectly.
Still can't feel my fingers.
Hello?
Thought I'd found shelter when I stumbled across this little village. Guessing you did too, huh?
Freya raises a frosty mug to you. Even though the warmth of the hearth reaches you here, her hands are wrapped in weir wool and her ears muffled by a hat. Her face has the taut, wind-beaten look of someone who's recently come out from the road.
As much blood as there was in the streets, I'm lucky the ale's still flowing.
She takes a drink, and as she tilts her head back, you see a bruise purpling her jaw and the crimson bloom of scraped knuckles. What exactly happened to you?
Thought all the whispers about Durgan's battery were just village superstition. And maybe they are. But I might have been on my guard if I'd listened. I was part of an expedition, hunting for relics from Durgan's battery. And picked up a good haul, too.
She takes a slow swallow of her beer.
So it figures that's when the winds pick up and the sky starts dumping snow. We lost sight of the road. Meanwhile, something else found us. Took Liam out before we even realized we were surrounded. And then we see him coming out of the snow. These little four-armed wilder. Lagufoth, they're called.
She shakes her head, staring at the embers in the pit.
Quick little bastards. Francesca and I held them off as long as we could, but when they filled her full of darts, I turned tail and ran. Found my way here and thanked my luck for escaping the Lagufoth. Then come to find out that this town's got an ogre problem.
She laughs bitterly. So what are you going to do now?
I need to get those artifacts. Not that I'm in any shape to go after them myself. But I can't afford to return to Defiance Bay without something to show for my expedition.
Apprehension creeps into her expression. She stares into her mug, swirling its contents.
But you might be able to get past the Lagufoth. You're light on your feet.
She looks up from her mug, hopeful.
I'll give you a cut for anything you bring back, of course. I ain't asking for charity. I just can't afford to go home empty-handed.
She brushes her nails along the side of her mug as that anxious look returns. Okay, tell me what you're looking for.
Like I said, we were treasure hunting near Durgan's battery when we were ambushed. What else do you want to know?
Well, apparently I should examine your teeth. As Freya talks, you notice her teeth and gums are stained with dark spots. Alright. Renegil told me that another expedition came through before I arrived. Was that you? Wait a second, that guard outside also had weird things on his teeth. I wonder. Anyway, Renegild.
Who?
She looks momentarily confused. Who? Yes, I didn't need to say that bit. Anyway, continue.
No, that would have been somebody else. We didn't meet with Renengild, or anyone else in town for that matter. We were operating on our own.
Looks into the fire pit, taking another drink. Why are these relics so important to you?
We took out several loans to pay for our trip out here. I'm gonna have trouble if I don't pay them back.
Okay. What do you know about Durgan's battery?
Just that it's been locked up tight for 200 years on account of those dwarves having a row.
She shrugs.
Which means that any trinkets from inside fetch a nice price. Sorry, I'm more of a businesswoman than a historian.
Alright. Well, we'll see. Goodbye. Who else have we got here? Andred? Hello. Hey there, good timing. You can watch me trounce Brithwin. Alcohol and sharp objects. This won't end well. Once, Andred, you won once. What are you playing? Olin's Head. Andred grins sheepishly. That's what they call it anyhow. Smooth. You pick a target, see? Nose or ears. Nose is worth more, but you got 2 ears to work with. You get less points the further out from the target you get. So, for the mouth and eyes, no points if you miss. Fancy a game? 3 throws each, and whoever gets the most points by the end of it wins the wager. I'll put down 50 pounds if you will. Sure, let's play. Andred pulls a throwing knife from his belt, turning it over in his hands. Wager's 50 pounds, you in? Of course. Good man, I'll go first just to show you how it's done. Andred aims carefully and throws his blade. The knife hits the fur, scoring 2. Andred walks up to retrieve the knife. Your turn. Nose? The knife hits the eye, scoring 5. Well, that's good. Andred aims carefully and throws his blade. The knife hits the mouth, scoring 5. Ears? Knife hits the ear, scoring 7. I don't understand the scoring system, but we appear to be doing well. Andred aims carefully and throws his blade. Knife hits the fur, scoring 2. I think we've won. Nose? It's the skin, scoring 1. I think that's enough to win. That's 13 for you and 9 for me. Not bad, stranger. Looks like you win this one. Here's your prize. Guess I ought to get in some practice.
Hey.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk to Brithwin. Ah, Sir Ogre-slaying friend. Have they crowned you King of Stalwart yet? My friend doesn't mean to be an ass, sir. It just comes natural. Okay. So that they both start the same dialogue. Interesting. That's stealing. That's the way down to the cellar. We might as well have a look. Bunch of gamblers, and one in particular in the middle. Hello. The hero of the hour. Halfrick sent you down to check on us. We aren't causing trouble, on my word. Who are you? Tinselek. Humble fisherman. Though with the ogres coming down all the time, well, I'd sooner fish for truth down a bottle for the time being. What are you playing? Dozens. Care to test your luck? Each of us puts down 50 pounds, 3 wins, and you take the 100. Could explain the rules if you like. Yeah, sure. It's simple enough. Winner takes all. We all roll 3 dice each. Get 3 4s, and that's the dozens. Beats all the other rolls. You roll anything else that sums to 12, that's the towers, second best. You roll any other triples, that's the godhammer. You get a pair, that's the witnesses. 1, 2, and 3 is the saint, that's the lowest. Any other roll is talkers, doesn't amount to anything. So, you roll the dice again. You get it? Okay, let's play. Tinseleg reaches forward to gather up his dice. Right, here we go. Coins on the table. I'll let you go first, since you're new. Tinseleg chuckles. You cast a die. We got talkers. Okay, roll again. We got towers. Value 5. Okay, your turn. Tinseleg rolls his dice. Talkers. Tinseleg grumbles and picks up his dice again. Rolls his dice. Talkers again. Grumbles and picks up his dice again. You got towers. Value 6. Huh, my towers beats your towers. Looks like I win. Tinseleg reaches forward to gather up his dice. Ready? Okay, let's do it again. The Saint! You rolled witnesses. My witnesses beat your Saint. Looks like I win. Tenslake reaches forward to gather up his dice. Okay. Go. Witnesses, value 5. You got witnesses, value 6. And he beats us. And the game is mine. Don't take it too hard, friend. You can always try again. Tenslake reaches forward to pull his winnings in towards himself.
Hey.
Alright. That's like... Yeah. That's an awful game. I mean, the previous one was bad, but that one's just awful. I mean, it's kind of like poker, except that there is no, like, bidding stage. It's just like, you know, get a result, and if your result's better, you win. Oh, we should rest at the inn. That's the whole reason we came to the inn in the first place. Yeah.
Back to warm your hands, eh? Top quality
room?
bear pelts on
Let's see what they offer. Dexterity, might, constitution. That's fantastic. We'll take that one. Right, and out we go. Okay, so we've been to the inn. We've talked to 2 people who were outside this place. That's Durgan's Battery. That's the way to the east. That's the way to the west. Like up here. We need to go to both. We need to go to all directions so that we can see where we can go. Let's click here just to get... Alright, so we don't actually... Yes, we do need to go to all the directions so that we unlock them, I think. But apart from that, we don't need to do too much else there. Let's go to Tanya's house. We haven't been invited there, so let's go. Camping supplies, which we can't take. That's just hireling pay, okay. Right.
They
hello?
gone? Have those nasty brutes finally left? I heard the ogres outside, tearing down walls and murdering folk. Don't remember how things got this bad.
The elderly woman kneads her hands. Her knuckles are swollen knobs. Her palms are ridged with calluses that scrape and rasp as she rubs them together.
But you're the new adventurer. Renengild's latest volunteer.
She squints at you, leaning precariously forward on her wobbly leg.
She said you don't suffer nonsense. Bet you'd whip those layabouts at the mine into shape.
I'd like to ask you something.
Did you say something, dear?
Tell me about yourself.
Me? I was the overseer at the mine, back when it was running. Got shut down decades ago when we couldn't sell or ship the stuff. But I still remember plenty about the mining business. And I got as many folk as I can digging out the entrance.
She taps her head, a spotted dome under a thinning thatch of hair.
Been praying to the salty wench that I don't forget too much afore they finish the job.
Okay, that's all.
Got to speak up?
Yeah, we must have to come back here later. Alright. Let us have a look around here. So, we head down to this exit. We can unlock that one. Yes, now we can go to either of those, but not Long Watch Falls, because we haven't gone there yet. Nothing here. Villager.
Me and
villager,
Sledge are
villager.
thinking about heading down,
Fish!
joining a caravan over to
Freshly
Donning.
caught!
Dawning? What for? You like your ogres
They're all
bigger?
shouting at the same
Fresh
time.
I have work at least.
Freshly
And I'm
caught!
damn sick of fish.
Can you stop shouting? Please?
Effigy's eyes! It looks at me! Ah!
What? Okay. A dozen pair of globular eyes stare up piteously from the discarded heads of the day's catch, awash in a pungent sea of fins and innards. Let's sift through them. Your hands run up against something round and fleshy, the size of a melon. It is smooth and scaleless, and parts seem to be covered in hair. A discarded head, perhaps, but not that of a fish. Poke it. The head shifts deeper into the barrel's slimy recesses. Pull it out. With one hand on either side of the head, you begin to lift out the barrel, only to have it leap from your grasp as the head's owner springs from the lip of the barrel in an eruption of fish chunks that rain down over the market stall. The man who leapt from the barrel stands facing you, nearly naked, save for a loincloth and drizzled in fish viscera. He is covered head to toe in scars, tears, and punctures, and the thorny imprints of lashings. Most are faded, like old memories. Despite that, the condition of the man's body is remarkable. The drooping skin at his flanks and elbows, the only evidence of his advanced age. His face is placid, but the rest of him appears prepared for anything.
You must forgive, Zawa. I was not expecting you.
He looks you in the eye at first, but his gaze drifts now and then, settling on a strange part of your face as though distracted by new discoveries. If he is at all flustered, he gives no indication. What were you doing in that barrel? Zahu scratches behind his ear, dismayed.
Resting my eyes, I thought. Waiting for the Magicka to bring me insight.
He shakes his head.
It would seem I dozed. A good thing my master was not alive to see it.
Zahu blinks, leaning in to get a better look at you. His enlarged pupils seem to crowd out his pale irises.
Are you real?
Yes.
Of course. I meant no offense. But I find it is best to ask when Magicka is involved.
Magicka?
A small white mushroom. I have heard it called snowcap in these lands. It can reveal the true nature of many things.
You have a master, you said. The man traces your inadvertent glance at his scars. He smiles politely.
A teacher, not an owner. Zawa is a free man. Well, as free as any of us.
Yeah, but why were you in the barrel?
I was freeing myself from vanity.
Did he say sanity or vanity?
Consider, how can one be vain who is bathed in the smell of dead fish?
There's a proud glint in his eyes. Well, I mean, it is hard to argue with that.
I had the idea when I passed this way earlier. I am pleased with the results so far.
He smiles at a woman whose head is swiveled towards him as she passes by, a look of revulsion on her face. Distracted, her toe catches on a stone and she nearly falls on her face. He claps his hands together.
Yes, quite pleased.
Are those scars from battle? Was it Zhao? Glances down at his body.
From battle, yes. I left them upon my enemies.
He points at various patches of crisscrossing scars.
These were struck against fear. These against pleasure. These against hatred. Those down there against greed and doubt. And these...
He points to his face.
These were for vanity.
You made those scars?
I cannot take credit for all of them, but I did most of the good ones.
His mouth perks.
I put them there in battle to remind myself what is real and what is not. Our worst enemies are inventions of the mind, pleasure, fear. When we see them for what they are, we become unstoppable.
And you have achieved this.
I feel I have been close, but never for more than an instant. In the moment when the pain is sharpest, the world becomes clear. In that moment, I am a match for anyone.
He gives a slow, assured nod. Do you often smear yourself with fish?
Gods, no. What a way to travel the world. The usual way is to smear yourself with the ashes of the dead. But they do not burn their dead here, so I have to make do with what the land provides.
He sniffs the air.
The cold seems to conquer the smell. Even now, the scent hides itself. Disappointing.
Yeah, your wounds seem to have caused you to suffer greatly.
Of course. I am fortunate to have suffered so much. If I did not suffer, I would not aspire to free myself from it. I would wander from one unfulfilling goal to the next. More wealth, a better station. My soul would wither. But to search for a place beyond suffering's reach is to nurture the soul, to harden it against the elements.
He clenches his fists in illustration.
Suffering is the greatest gift the gods have given us, their most beautiful, perfect creation. It is the hand that turns the wheel.
His eyes gleam as though looking upon an old and beloved friend. Yeah, you don't seem like you're from around here.
I was visiting a monastery not far from here. I found it empty, but I met a messenger as I left. He carried a call for aid. Seeing that he would find no monks at the monastery, I chose to go in their place. Zawa is no longer young, but in combat he is still the greatest of the Takan people. It seemed only right that he should go.
Zawa. Just trying to get that in my head so we get it right. Stalwart hired me as well.
I would not say I am hired. I seek no wage, and I promise no result. I have chosen a path, and my spoils come from walking it.
An uneasy frown settles on his face, almost a wince.
And this fortress, this Durgan's battery, its people are gone. Zawa would know why.
If you seek the White Forge as well, I could use the help of an experienced warrior. Zawa's face tilts upwards, his eyes fixing on the sky. He remains motionless, entranced. At length, he blinks as if awakening and looks back at you. He shrugs cheerily.
If one wishes to swim, it is no time to argue with the current. We are here together in this moment because a perfect force has willed it. Who is Zawa to argue?
He looks you squarely in the eyes, and for once they do not drift.
I will walk with you so long as the gods wish it so.
Let us be on our way then. Okay, so we have a new person. We have a monk. In terms of who to ditch, it has to be Pallegina. Because I assume monk is melee. That's the only one that makes sense to me. Okay, so monks have wounds. Okay.
Zawa is ready.
So he uses his fists, and he has a kick. Okay. This ability exploits the shared bonds of universal suffering between all beings. The initial target is hit with a powerful blow that does additional crush damage. Enemies in a cone behind the target suffer crush damage and have their might reduced. Alright. Interesting. What do monks get as like an ability? Let's have a look at that. This tab. So, philosopher, going down here. Don't really care about his stats, but there they are. Transcendent suffering. 0 unarmed accuracy plus 2.4 unarmed damage. Now, presumably that's like a thing that's just. I'm trying to see if there's anything here that gives us a clue. But I'm assuming that's like a thing that will go up each level. Like each level will get more unarmed accuracy and more unarmed damage, maybe? Okay, abilities. Fighting Spirit. Passive. If his endurance is below 50%, he gets accuracy and damage. Okay. Second Wind, we know what that is. Torment's Reach, we've already looked at that. And Transcendent Suffering. The base unarmed damage starts much higher than other characters and increases permanently every 3 levels they gain. Okay. So the reason why they give you a weapon set is in case you're a low enough level that is, unarmed isn't good, I think. Okay. Let's level them up. Survival should be first, I would imagine. Because we're trying to... we would want to get them up to that one. We want to get them up to accuracy bonus versus creature type. Okay, so you can get lesser wounds, which gives them a wound threshold. I don't know what wounds are. What are wounds? Exactly. Inflicts raw damage on himself or herself to gain a wound. Wounds not like one we can click on and have a look. So just gives wounds. What are wounds? I don't know what they are. Okay. Interesting. What else could we get? We get one-handed style, 2 weapon style. Does 2 fists count as 2 weapons? Maybe. That could work. Maybe he can't use the ranged weapon by looks. No, he's got marksman. He just hasn't got like a whole bunch of the other stuff here. Like, he's too low a level. That's why. So 2 weapon styles, something you could get. Don't know what else. I think or is there like unarmed for one of the unarmed peasant? There we go. We're gonna use unarmed. We might as well give him accuracy. There we go. Peasant. Next level. So survival, and then we have to choose monk abilities. Okay. Okay. Monks cover an array of effects to bolster the effects of the melee attacks, protect the monk from afflictions, turn the tables on attackers. Most monk abilities are powered by wounds. Okay. Some have per encounter, per rest. Swift Strike. Requires 1 wound. Increases the attack speed for 10 seconds. Okay. This one is a passive. While the monk has wounds, he adds a proportional fire bonus to melee damage. Pretty good. Makes you move quicker. Long stride. That's good as well. Like being able to move around. Force of Anguish. 2 wounds. A powerful attack that knocks target back a significant distance if the attack is successful. Target bumps others out of the way and bounces off hard surfaces like walls before ending up prone. Not bad. I think we just take the burn damage right now. But maybe in next level we'll do something. Yeah. Survival again. Next one. Mortifications of the soul and lesser wounds. -2 wounds threshold. I'm trying to figure out what that is. Lowers the monk's wound threshold. Maybe it's wounds that are like damage taken goes into wounds. -2 means it would go quick. I don't really know. It doesn't really say anywhere. But this one gives +1. Alright, so that adds +1 to your wounds and that wound threshold. I don't know. I have no idea. Let's ignore it while we don't know what they are. Interrupting blows, really good. All of these different ones are fine. 2-weapon style could be cool if it works. Defensive, like Snake's reflexes. I assume we'll be doing reflex a lot more than deflection, but some things will hit off deflection anyway. Hold the line could be useful. Yeah. I think what we want to do is we want to just take like one of these, maybe. Just to give an extra like thing. I mean, yeah, maybe we'll take two weapon style right now, and then we'll take like one of the defense. We'll take defensive after that. Okay, there we go. Right, survival, definitely. And then we need to choose a new monk ability. So Soul Mirror, 50% chance to reflect ranged attacks all the time. Pretty good. And that's reflect, not deflect. So that would actually hit it back. That's really good. Clarity of Agony reduces duration of hostile effects. No. Stunning. Okay, enemies hit by a successful attack are stunned twice per encounter. Pretty good. I think we need a Soul Mirror. I think that's really good. Like, if something attacks him, he has 50% chance of just hitting it straight back. Yeah. Survival again. This level, I don't know. It says this allows you to gain wounds at a faster rate. So let's take it. Let's see what it's like. We seem to use wounds a lot. Survival. Ooh, new stuff. Duality of Mortal Presence. Okay. So effects are, it's a modal. The user gains deflection. Grants other defenses. Okay. So basically it means that you get 2 modals. You could either have deflection or not deflection. Alright. Long Pain. Summons weapons, long pain fists. Unarmed fist things. Okay. For 30 seconds. So it basically just means that your fists become, you know, these really good attack weapons, which aren't actually that good. Crucible of Suffering. A passive that basically... Alright, so whenever a hostile effect expires, it would give this bonus. Alright. I like Duality of Mortal Presence, and I like Long Pain. But I think we take Duality, because I think Long Pain is probably not very good. Right. Oh, and we're getting other stuff as well. Oh, okay. Transcendent Suffering 3. Alright, so we get that each time we go up. Okay, that makes sense. Survival we can't put anything into, so we'll leave it. Mortification of the soul. No. And seeing if anything new's popped up that makes me feel like, oh yeah, we want that one. Cautious attack could be good if we use it in combination with the deflection buff that gives us plus 16 deflection. Or we could take like reflex or something, or superior deflection, which just gives 5 deflection. Don't know. Then here, take fast runner. Did we take the? We haven't taken the one that makes you run faster, but fast runner and run faster could be really good if you want to try and single out an enemy or something. I'm not sure though. I think that we might want to just go for a I think we'll go snakes to reflexes. We'll take it. It's boring, but we'll take it. Next level, survival. That's the highest way we need it to get to, and now we move into lower. All into lower now. Right. Another one here. Rooting pain is new. So passive. Each time we gain a wound, inflicting a small amount of damage. Okay. Generates the shockwave around a monk each time he or she gains a wound, inflicting a small amount of damage to, and possibly calling an interrupt on all enemies in an area of effect. So it's basically just like, you know, every time we would gain a wound, it just does a little radiant kind of damage. Enervating blows. So passive, target becomes weakened if we crit. Okay. Yeah. I like that. Weaken's a good effect to put on. Wait, that doesn't link to anything? Interesting. Or do we hover? There we go. Might and Constitution are reduced by 2. Movement is reduced by 1. Yeah, that could be good. The crush damage isn't really a lot from this. It sounds good, but the crush damage is really low, and the radius is really low. So we'll go Enervating Blows. Enervating Blows. Into lore, and we'll choose one here. Let's pick Cautious Attack. Give us the extra deflection if we need it. Right. So now we can pick one of these. We'll just stick ourselves on deflection by default. What is this deflection? His deflection is 61 compared to Eddier's 91. Okay, and the rest of us. So he's tankier than the rest of us, but he's not as tanky as Edier. But he'll be at like 69 defense, which is not bad at all. He does a lot of damage with his unarmed attack. That's pretty good. And let's have a quick look at health. So health is, well, endurance is 227. So he is the second highest endurance. So yeah, he's a much tankier person in our party than we've previously had. In terms of weapons and stuff, well, presumably he won't use any. I mean, I've sold most of the rubbish in our stash, so let's see what we got. We can access our stash here, which is nice. Does he get a bonus from not wearing armor? I don't think he gets a bonus from not wearing armor. No, I can't see anything in here that says that he should, so like, we should maybe just put him in armor? Seems a little bit odd for a monk, but like, this one's, well, that's a shield, but yeah, like, if we have armor, we should put him in it. We're probably never going to use his secondary weapons, which is fine. Here, oh, we got Necklace of Fireballs. No, that one he can't use. Necklace of Fireballs or of Stealth. Perception Neck. Max Endurance bonus could be useful. We'll give him the cloak, I think. Also means he looks really weird because now he has a cloak on. Right. There we go. And we'll remember to give him stuff as we keep going. Right, so now he's in our kind of lineup. Cool. Let's continue having a look around here. Let's go into the temple. Hello. Oh, this is the fishery.
I should wait outside.
Nobody's here. Okay. Hello. It's closed. Wait, it said it was closed for the night. Does that mean night and day is actually a thing? That like it's gonna work? That actually means anything?
That's what I get for asking directions in the middle of nowhere.
Hello?
Say, I don't suppose you've seen any mysterious old buildings in the mountains lately, have you?
The Amua wears an assortment of bangles, bands, cuffs, and chains as thick as armor. She watches you with raised eyebrow and eyes gleaming with mirth. You mean Durgan's Battery?
No, but I've heard that name a lot around here. I'm looking for the Abbey of the Fallen Moon. It's an obscure temple dedicated to Andra.
Why are you looking for the Abbey?
I'm a gift bearer. My job is to gather tokens of things people want forgotten and surrender them to the Lady of Lament. Best place to do that is the Abbey of the Fallen Moon.
What kind of tokens do you take?
Anything that represents a moment or a memory someone wishes to leave behind. Well, love notes, awkward family heirlooms, bad poetry, the kinds of things you want to forget.
I see.
I might be here a while. Half the villagers have never heard of the Abbey, and the ones that have, no one knows where it is. So I'm trying to think of this as an extended holiday in a remote mining village that smells like fish.
I've got business in the region. We could travel together.
You won't regret it. I've got a lovely singing voice.
Okay, now this is a barbarian. Alright. So that's interesting. Who do we ditch for the barbarian? Well, I mean, ideally we ditch us. We could ditch Edier. But my entire strategy is entirely based around Edier being here. So if Edier isn't here, we have an issue. No, it might be fun. Ditch Edier for a while. It did say that we're over leveled for this area. So if we ditch Edier, then we could probably then it might be a challenge to see what we can do. Yeah. We'll stick in her. We'll see how good she is at stuff before we actually make a decision. But probably something like that is what we're looking at. That seems like an alright kind of lineup. There we go. And let's have a quick look at her stuff. Oh, before we do... Yes, cancel level up. Before we do that, I want to have a look at her abilities. See if she has anything. So she's got High Might, High Con. Okay. Let's have a look here. Her armor does stuff. Gives her healing, receive, move speed, and damage reduction. Towering Physique. That gives her defense against prone and stunned attacks. Barbaric Yell. Lets out a terrifying yell twice per encounter, frightening enemies in an area of effect. Carnage. So this one means that barbarians' attacks, this is a passive, are forceful to impact others around the target. So it's a cleave. Okay. Second Wind, we know what that is, and Towering Physique is because of Coastal Amua. Okay. Cool. So she doesn't really have anything else. She has 2 weapon sets. She has a Morning Star, which is 2-handed, and she has 2 2-handed weapons. I suspect we'll go for 2-handed weapons, but we'll see. Right. I'm just saying that because we have some gold 2-handed weapons. Right. Let's go athletics. Well, survival on her is good as well. Survival 10 and athletics, I think. There we go. So accurate carnage. Increases the accuracy of the second attacks. Okay, fair enough. Barbaric blow. Once per encounter, does a massive blow causing additional crits and dealing extra damage on crits. Carnage is not affected. So it does a full attack with 30% of attacks convert to crits. Okay. So it's a 30% chance with this one attack, which is 2 attacks, that are also in an area that have like an area of effect, which might crit. Yeah, okay. I could see that. Accurate Carnage sounds better right now. Without seeing the rest of her abilities, I'm just going to go for Accurate Carnage. But Barbaric Blow is definitely interesting. Right, Survival. Next one, Barbarian ability. So Frenzy. Once per encounter, can get Might, Constitution, Attack Speed, lowers Deflection, Health, and Endurance. And Endurance is concealed. Alright. Interesting. So basically just means that they, like, attack a lot and have a lot of Might and Constitution. Yeah, okay. Savage Defiance. Once per encounter, just gains, like, a ton of endurance. Cool. Bloodied. It causes the barbarian to lash out when in pain, granting a bonus to damage for as long as his or her endurance is below 50%. Not good. Wild Sprint. 3 per rest can sprint. Okay. Reason Bloodied isn't good is because we want to keep her at high health. Because she's going to be our tank. While Spirit is not good because it's 3 per rest and it's movement speed. Which leaves us for Frenzy or Savage Defiance. I'm going to take Frenzy because it's just a huge amount of damage increase. Right, next. So, let us go Survival again. Here, we can go Greater Frenzy, which gives it even more Might and Con, which is fantastic. I think we'll go with that, actually, yeah. Nothing else to look at there. Here, Survival. Then we have to choose stuff. Brute Force, passive. Attack Fortitude instead of Deflection if Fortitude is lower. Definitely sounds like an alright thing. It means it's like things with high deflection we can still hit. One stands alone. So plus 2 enemies needed to flank, plus 20% melee damage. So, this is a passive. So 2 more enemies are needed on her to be a flank. So she needs to be engaged by 3 enemies or more. And she just does extra damage. Alright, Bloodlust. Whenever she is personally down 2 enemies, her attack speed goes up for 10 seconds. One stands alone sounds fantastic for what we want to use her for. Right. Survival. I just remembered something we should take here. We should definitely take Hold the Line. We haven't seen anything that gives her extra engagement, and this is something we need for a tank. Right. Survival. Next one, Thick-Skinned. So, damage reduction. Cool. Threatening Presence. So, in an area of effect around her, enemies will be sickened. Let me read this again. Okay. As long as the barbarian is stationary, nearby enemies may be sickened. Sickened is have their fortitude and will reduced, which is good if we also have the one that hits fortitude. Bloodthirst. After killing an enemy, the barbarian's recovery is waived, allowing them to attack again. Could be good against kind of waves of small enemies. Not that useful though. I think we take Bloodied. Not Bloodied, Brute Force. Yeah, Brute Force is the one we want. The one that attacks Fortitude. Next level. Nothing there. Class unlocks, we didn't get any. I think Barbaric Blow is definitely an option. We're not really using her as a damage one though. Maybe something that would give her extra deflection, like this one might be good. It's just the extra deflection one. Or something that gives her... I'm trying to see what might be useful. Damage reduction to certain things could be useful. I think we take the... I think we might take deflection. Or body control. Actually, mental fortress could be good as well. But yeah, we'll take superior deflection. There we go. Survival's up to the top, and then athletics is the next one we level up. Got new stuff here. Vengeful Defeat. Whenever the barbarian is reduced to 0 endurance, we do an instant carnage full attacks everyone in range. Okay. Interesting. Barbaric Shout, 2 per rest, terrifies, not interested at all. Thick-Skinned, we already saw that one. Thick-Skinned is pretty good. I think we take Threatening Presence though. The sicken on everyone nearby. That seems really good. Yep, I go with that one. And the last level, we're putting into athletics, and then a new one here. We could do offensive, actually, yeah. Let's go for 2 weapons style, which is in here somewhere. There we go, 2 weapon style. That's the one we want. Done. That is our level 10 barbarian, which we are going to just quickly outfit. What's her armor do? 7 DR. Wow, that's really good armor. Move speed and healing received goes up. She doesn't use a shield, although she could. There's nothing stopping her using a shield. But we're going to give her one of those and one of those. We're going to give her 2 like swords. So she has resolution, which does extra damage, has crit multiplier, grazes are converted to hits. Really good. And then in her other hand, she has measured restraint, which is accuracy. Gives her an extra enemy engaged. I didn't even notice that. That's fantastic. And then more accuracy and damage. So she is our fantastic tank right now. She needs a cape or something like that. No armor, cape. Cape or of stealth. Max endurance bonus could be good. Well, it's only 15. But that could be alright. Burn proof. Damage reduction against burn could be good as well. Oh, I suppose we'll give her the minor spell, but they'll give her the resolve thing here. We give her of perception. That increases her accuracy. Let's give her that, yeah. Increase her accuracy. It does take away her cape, but that's fine. Right, and that is Manea set up. Perfect. Now we do need to talk. Oh. What have we got here? I'll find it without your help. Not giving up, you hear me? Alright. Who's that? Charlatan's Al. Okay. Hello? Dwarf paces with his head down and arms crossed, only stopping to hurl glances at the building behind him. His face is smeared dark with grime and soot falls from his beard as he mumbles to himself. Work my hands into bloody stumps with this place. And for what? He kicks at the mound of dirty snow. Start with nothing, leave with less. He extends his arms out. Who are you yelling at? Idiots, that's who. I was much to blame for believing them. The dwarf wrinkles his nose, nostrils flaring like a horse. Well, good riddance. Never should have settled here in the first place. Some things you meant to leave behind. Come back to find out you packed them anyway. I'm not leaving until I recover what's mine. They can't deny me again, not after this. Orkram gestures at the burnt out buildings. Those sweet-tongued priests took my heirlooms. Bury the memory of my past, they said. Now I don't even have that. What priests? Only ones here, the ones who occupied the temple some time ago, picking at desperate folk like vultures. Those priests, Andra's dog, said the goddess would forgive, and some things are best left to be forgotten. Their leader laughed at, I believed her words. Another one of them, gift bearer, took my medallion. And now they won't tell me where it is. Your problem is that you give meaning to meaningless objects. Here, let me show you something. I need one of your rings. Orquin draws back his hand. But Zau gives him a trustworthy nod. After a moment's hesitation, Orkram relents, dropping a jeweled band into Zau's outstretched palm. Immediately, Zau flings it into the lake. See, you are no worse off. Orkram's face, already splotched with pink from the cold, turns a deep shade of crimson, and his mouth puckers as though his head was set to implode. After a tense moment, his breathing slows and his fist unclenched, the original look of pained frustration returning. Oh dear. Why won't they tell you? Because they think they know better, that's why. Said I was the only way I'd forget. What did you want to forget about your past? I was a different life, better days until... Orkram closes his eyes and shakes his head. Moots of soot fall into his haunch shoulders. It is my burden to bear, not yours. I ought to cast it away, but the memories I lost were all the wrong ones. What else did you give the priests? The dwarf casts a measuring look at you, quickly turns his head away and nods. You understand its value. My armor is set finer than I'd ever seen. But worthless to an old dwarf, and I've traded it for the medallion, but the fool I was, I gave them both. Yeah, maybe there's something I can do. Not the kind of talk that I've grown used to the past few years, I admit. The priests may pretend otherwise, but the folks here tend to only look after themselves. I'd be surprised if they returned it willingly. They believe it's a sacred duty to cast the offerings of the goddess in some place where they'll be forgotten. Better to find them where they drop them, I think. What's Laughter's role in all this? She leads the group of crows. They took over the temple as the folk started to leave, aimed to unburden those who sought to forget their misery here, they say. Tell me about the medallion. It belonged to my sister. It was just a petty trinket to her. To me, the dwarf cast his gaze down. She was the last of my family. Least, that still acted like family to me. Okay, we'll go see if we can help them. I don't expect luck to grace me now, but if you find anything, I'll be here. Count on it. He gives you a vigorous nod. Cool. And I think it's a good point to end the episode. Thank you for watching. Next time we will go find out about this medallion, but we also need to talk to both of our companions to see if they have anything else to say now that they're companions. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.